Good morning and welcome to the Race to the South Pole Cold Sweat 2012 update. I'm Sidney Matlakwe, and you gotta know that this is the toughest race on the planet. The 704-kilometer race is divided into two legs, and the teams have to race for 24 hours in between. It is expected that some of the faster teams could cover the entire distance in 18 days, and that's a tall order. Now, we know that the participants are going to face things called crevasses, but what exactly is a crevasse? A crevasse is a very deep crack in the ice sheet, usually formed when two parts of a glacier are moving at different speeds. The sheer strength caused by a very deep crack. The depth makes them very dangerous to navigate. Let's get back to the race. Our 7 teams to start the Race to the South Pole haven't started as yet, as there is a bad weather. Speaking of bad weather, let's check in on the weather. Overcast and snowy, highs of -27 and lows of -29. And of course, another important question to ponder is, when walking 704 kilometers to the South Pole, what are you going to eat? Well, now it's time to find out more about the dietary constraints on this dangerous journey. When taking on the Antarctic, in a race to the South Pole over frozen barren land, what exactly do the participants eat? Does the cold weather burn more energy? And what nutrition requirements will be adequate for the 704-kilometer journey in -30-degree temperatures? This type of planning could certainly be a make or break for the task at hand. Bram Malherbe consulted a dietitian.
My first advice when he called was, Bram, you have to get onto this ASAP. Don't leave things until the last minute, because this requires a lot of planning and a lot of trying out and testing and experimenting with different foods and different strategies. So one of the big things that Bram had to work on was to increase his actual body weight. And in order to do that, we spoke a lot about making use of every opportunity in the day to get the calories in, and also to start training and experimenting in training with getting calories in, because Bram was really just, doing things on training on water.
I'm sure most of the food lovers out there would love to be told that we need to gain weight. But just how many calories can an athlete ingest in a day racing across the Antarctica?
If we estimate that energy expenditure is 6,000 calories minimum per day, that is the amount that the diet should supply. Now, in order to get that, and you don't want to carry a huge volume of food, a huge weight of food, so you're looking at not carrying more than, say, 5 kilograms of actual food per day to supply you with that amount of energy. So where you're going to get that from in food, you're going to have to look at food that is calorically dense. So fat actually becomes quite an important source of fuel in an event like this.
The centenary race to the South Pole is about to take place, but how do the calories burnt by Scott 100 years ago compare with our participants today? Food for an unbelievable challenging journey like this is a subject that could easily be dismissed. Yet for the men from the 1911 expedition, it was a matter of life and death. Professor of Exercise and Sports Science at the University of Cape Town has more.
We calculated that he was expending about between 6,000 and 10,000 calories a day, and they exercised for 160 days pulling those sleds to the South Pole and back. So the calculation was that they expended approximately 1 million calories, which is about twice as high as anything else has ever been achieved. So these guys are going to spend relatively short time. They're not spending 160 days. They're not going to get anywhere near 1 million calories. I suspect if they're exercising for 12 to 14 hours, they'll probably expend between 10 to 12,000 calories.
10,000 calories? Well, that's about 65 beers a day. Wow, I hope they have a big enough cooler box. Well, that's it for today from the Race to the South Pole update. Join us tomorrow, same time, as we see these extreme athletes edging closer to the final destination. Which team will be first to arrive at the halfway mark, and will the conditions be favorable tomorrow? We'll find out. From myself, Sidney Matlakwe, and the team to the Race to the South Pole, goodbye.